Simba, the Executive Director of the Pan-African Congress Kenya. The Pan-African Congress Kenya is the chapter of the larger global Pan-African movement that has its headquarters in Kampala, Uganda. The history about the Pan-African Congress comes from the first Pan-African Congress that was held in 1900 by the Africans who are in the diaspora in their quest to champion for the liberation of Africans, first from slavery and racism, and then later on liberation from the colonial impoverishment. So far we've had 8 Pan-African conferences, but the 7th Pan-African Conference was the most significant because it helped us have a secretariat that is in Uganda that has now enabled us to have chapters in a number of countries. So far we have 38 chapters in the continent. We have around 6 in Europe and 6 in both North America and South America. Our aim is about African unity and African prosperity. How can we ensure that our people are united? And how can we ensure that our people are experiencing better livelihood, dignified livelihood? We are all well aware, and we always see what is happening to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. You can remember just yesterday when we were having COVID, you saw how Africans are treated maybe in China and all these other places. We have experienced what is happening in the US with the Africans in the diaspora. The worst one that we experienced in the past was the killing of George Floyd in the United States of America by police officers who should be protecting them in the first place. So with the plight of the Pan-African movement and the Pan-African Congress is to find a way in which we can speak up and we can talk about the issues that are affecting us in this continent and also out of this continent.
So we are looking forward to Pan-African Liberation Day. Yes. And you have mentioned that on that day, of course, you're going to bestow His Excellency the President as the patron of the regional chapter. What can you say about the day and the activities that
Well, this year's African Liberation Day is quite significant for us because the Pan-African Congress is trying to move the Pan-African conversation from what has always been there to a conversation about the economic emancipation of the continent. We understand that Africa has faced different kind of challenges over time. There's a time when our biggest challenge was slavery and racism, and then there came a time when the biggest challenges were issues of colonialism, and we fought strongly and were able to liberate ourselves. Right now, the biggest challenge affecting the African people are economic issues. We can't afford basic needs. Our youths cannot get jobs. We can't afford to go to school. We can't afford medication. So the conversation is, how can we act to improve our living condition? How can we have a country where our people are guaranteed of social amenities? That is the conversation. So on the 25th of May, we will be hosting the entire East African community to celebrate the African Liberation Day in Kenya. And as it is the norm in all Pan-African chapters across the continent, the presidents of countries are always the patrons because they are the vision bearers of these countries. And Pan-Africanism has its core in the structure and the management of all governments. The first thing that brought us together as a people was the Pan-African conversation when it was held, when our leaders merged together to talk about the liberation of this continent. And when they celebrated at the African Union in May 1963 about the future and the vision of this continent. So we're just doing that to usher in a new conversation about Pan-Africanism, where we are now going to talk about these issues that I have addressed. So our president, in how it has been done in other countries, like in Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, and all these other countries, presidents are the ones who are championing the Pan-African cause. And we believe that the president of Kenya will help us and will go a long way in supporting this cause, not only for the benefits of Africans who are in Kenya, but Africans in the entire East African community, and also Africans in the entire African continent. Because I believe that if you can make it in Kenya here, it will work in the entire continent.
Thank you.